Keep or declutter? Keep or declutter? I knew this was gonna be a hard one. Welcome back everyone. Today's video is going to be a review slash am I going to keep, am I going to declutter this? I don't know if I should have like a cute name for this style of video, but if anyone has a cute name suggestion, definitely let me know. But I've mentioned that recently on my channel, kind of the structure that I am doing is I've started doing weekly hauls, pretty much weekly hauls now, PR hauls, things that I've purchased, things like that. And then from that haul, I take the top commented products that you say that you want to see. I do a first impression video with them. A couple weeks later, I come back and do a get ready with me, just kind of give my initial thoughts on those products, how they've been working out for me. And then finally, I will take all of those products once again and put them into a review video, and not just review them, but also decide, am I going to keep them in my collection or am I going to declutter them? I know Hannah Louise Poston used to do this, you know, a few years ago. She had started this with her hauls that she was doing, and she would talk about if she was gonna keep the products and actually put them into her makeup collection or if she was not going to put them into her collection. And I wanted to do that because I've been working on keeping a more minimal makeup collection for almost 2 years now, I would say. So I don't want to let things just keep piling up and keep piling up. I don't want to just keep products to be like, oh, I'll review these at the end of the year, because it's just getting a little bit overwhelming to me, the amount of stuff that I have and the amount of products that I have. So that was a reason why I wanted to come on and do this style of video. So some of these products I am going to be decluttering, some I will be keeping. There was some surprise favorites in here. So I will have some videos linked up in my cards, like my haul, my first impression, to get ready with me, and those sort of things. We actually had one product end up in my most recent favorites video. So I did a favorites video not too long ago, and I mentioned in there the Makeup by Mario concealer. This is the Surreal Skin Concealer. When I did my first impression, I didn't really think that I was going to love the Makeup by Mario products. I also have the Surreal Skin Foundation, so I'll review that next. The concealer did end up surprising me. This one is a self-setting concealer. So the first time I used it, I didn't realize that. And I put it on and I was just kind of lackadaisically taking my time, blending out the concealer, and I was like, oh shoot, this actually dries really quickly. I need to work really fast with this one. And so I was like, ooh, I just don't know if it's going to be it for me, but I've ended up really liking it. What I've said in my review video is that I really like the coverage that it gives without feeling like it's too much or feeling too heavy on my under eyes or looking like I'm wearing too much makeup. But to me, it's also kind of like an eraser. I feel like it kind of smooths out my fine lines and just makes my under eyes look a little bit younger. And I am 37, so I like to pretend that I'm at least like in my early 30s, if you will, you know what I'm saying? And I've gotten used to the self-setting aspect. I do typically still always set this with powder because that's what I normally do. You really can tell that it has that feature to it, which almost just makes it, to me, like seem a little bit more long wearing of a concealer. I've actually ended up really enjoying this one. Again, maybe if you don't have the most youthful under eyes, this might be a good concealer for you to check out. But I was pretty surprised that that one ended up in my favorites video because I didn't see that coming at first, but I will definitely be keeping that one. And then, like I said, I did also try the Surreal Skin Foundation. I really thought that I would at least like the foundation more than the concealer, but for the foundation, this one is more like your medium to full coverage. And for me, I just really prefer lighter coverage right now. Like right now I have on the Salt New York Sneaky Balm, like their skin tint. I recently purchased the Anastasia Beverly Hills Beauty Balm, which is a very light coverage product. I really like the Catrice Tinted Serum Foundation. That is a really light coverage product. So I just, at this moment, that is what I'm reaching for. Sometimes I only do concealer and powder. So for me, even though I think this is a good foundation if that's what you are looking for. If you are looking for something to give you more coverage, if you are looking for something that I still think has more of a natural finish to it, I think that you would like this one from Makeup by Mario. I don't think it's a bad foundation by any means. I think it has a good wear time to it. I've worn it several times. I've worn it for an extended period of time. I've worn it in some of the heat that we've had in Las Vegas. I think that this holds up really well. It has a nice long wear time to it. It's just, for me, it's really just the amount of coverage. It's just not what I want to put on my face right now. It's just a little bit too much. I remember once I got kind of done being like, okay, this is my thoughts on it. I know how I'll review this product. I would be like, okay, you should wear the Makeup by Mario again. And I was like, oh, I don't want to put that much makeup on my face, which sounds kind of funny because I'm still putting makeup on my face, of course, but it just, with a more of a heavier coverage foundation. It's just not what I want. But I know there's a lot of people that are looking for that, and I would definitely recommend the Makeup by Mario for you. Again, I don't think that it's a bad product. It's just not one that works out for my preferences. So I am actually going to be decluttering that one from my collection. Another product that I had from Makeup by Mario, and this was all received in PR, they did send me over a double-ended brush. This one is the F4. So this side I was using for the foundation, and then this side I was using for the concealer. I actually really like this brush. Listen, I'm a bit of a hoe for brushes, and I can admit that freely. I love brushes. I don't love cleaning brushes. I've definitely done a better job of it, but something about makeup brushes will still just always touch my soul a little bit, if you will. And this one I think is really nice. It's very soft. I like that we have like the shapes on both of these. I feel like it's just easy to blend everything out. I've been reaching for this brush so much. I did actually also, thank you so much, I have washed it one whole time. I mean, I haven't had it for that long, but I did have it in my last brush wash, and I felt like it held up really well. Like the bristles, everything was fine once I got done washing it. But if you are looking for a good double-ended brush, you want a good foundation concealer brush, I actually really do like this F4 from Makeup by Mario, so I'm gonna be holding on to this one. Of course. The blush that I've been trying out recently is from LYS. This is their cream blush stick, and I have been using the shade Focused. So similar to their bronzer sticks, we have the cream blush. I've had this in a handful of my Get Ready With Me videos, and I have to say, okay, so I have been more on the powder product train recently. That's what I've been enjoying. That's what I've been reaching for. Powder bronzers, powder blushes. But I got this. I got like a Pixie cream blush. I don't think I've had like a cream bronzer come into my life, but I had like a cream blush from ColourPop as well, and I was like, okay, I'll be trying these out. I really like this one from LYS. It gives a really beautiful finish. It's very easy to apply. It's very easy to blend out. It kind of gives that effortless flush to the cheeks. It's a little bit on the shimmery side without being like super, super glowy, and it has a great wear time to it as well. I am a little bit surprised, but I keep reaching for this, and I think this blush is why I've been like, okay, maybe I could use my Rare Beauty cream blush. Maybe I could grab that Pixie Beauty cream blush as well. I think it's because this one from LYS is so nice. So I've been a little bit surprised because I was almost like a little bit leery to put it into my Get Ready With Me, because I was like, I just don't feel like it's gonna be fair. I'm not into cream products right now. You know, maybe it's because the weather's turning a little bit more warmer and I'm turning more to cream products. But this is actually a really good one. I keep reaching for this one. I would definitely recommend these from LYS, and I am gonna be holding on to this one. All right, I also tried out a few new products from Ofra Cosmetics. I have both a primer and a powder. These are both in collaboration with Jessica Deblani as well. So the Glow and Grip Primer, it says blend radiance and staying power with this long-lasting primer. So first of all, and I said this in my for my first impression video as well, that I was like, should I even put a primer in here? Because I'm not a big primer girl. Don't wear primers very often, especially right now and with how much I'm outside. I pretty much am just like always putting sunscreen on, and then I don't feel like putting a primer on and putting, you know, a foundation or concealer on. It just feels like there's just like too much going on, you know what I mean? To me is actually a pretty interesting primer because I can actually tell when you apply it, you do get instantly more glowy. So especially if that's something that you're looking for, maybe if you have really dry skin, if you just like a really good like glowy base, this is going to give it to you while at the same time still having that you know, kind of more tacky feeling. Something like the Urban Decay, like their all-nighter primer, the e.l.f. Cosmetics, their Power Grip primer, something along those lines, which is really good to grip the makeup. This is a primer that I actually think is like a perfect summer weather primer, if that is such a thing, because this, you can put it on, you can get that glowy look to it, and then you can, you know, maybe just do some light coverage makeup, some concealer, a light coverage foundation, and then your makeup is going to stay and it's going to last with how tacky this is. So this, to me, I was actually having a little bit of trouble deciding, do I want to keep it or not? Because I was like, I don't use a primer a ton, but when I have been wanting to use a primer, this has actually been the one that I've been going for over some of my other ones, like my LYS Hydrating Set the Stage. That's probably my most used primer. I don't have a lot of primers in my collection, don't get me wrong, but that's one of my most used primers because I like it's a little bit more serum-like, feels a little bit more skincare, it's a little bit more hydrating for my dry skin. But right now, because I'm so interested in light coverage makeup, very quick, very like easy, I said like one and done, like I one and done eyeshadows. I just have this eyeshadow on my eyes today. This is from Oden's Eye in Seoul. They just released a bunch of new single shadows, and I keep wearing this one as the only eyeshadow that I have on my eyes. So that's something that I'm really interested in. So that's why I find myself reaching for this primer, even though I'm like, so weird, I don't really go for a lot of primers. But once I kind of figured out the best way to use it, because in my Get Ready With Me, I used it to cover acne because I can struggle with hormonal acne. So I was really just using it on those spots before I put on concealer and powder because of the gripping power of it. It's something that I would do in my regular acne coverage routine, is I would use like the e.l.f. Power Grip. So that's why I was using it. But then once I kept trying it in order to review it, then I noticed myself that I would keep reaching for it, and I was like, what's going on here? But it's because I like the finish so much that it gives. Again, I have dry skin, so I really like that glowy finish to it, and then I really like that it grabs onto my makeup and it doesn't go anywhere. This to me is a pretty surprising product. I actually went back and forth on if I should include it in my favorites video, and then I was like, I don't know, should I include a primer in my favorites video? Like, because primer's not necessarily my favorite product or my favorite makeup step or a makeup step that I do all of the time, but this one to me has been like one of those sneaky products. Like definitely the Makeup by Mario concealer as well, but this one for sure, because I just didn't see it coming with a primer. But that's why, if that's something that you're looking for, I think that you would really like this primer, and I think that you would really benefit from it. And it's so funny because it's, to me, it was one that I wasn't even considering using in my first impression, because I was like, I don't need primers, and that really turned it around for me. So I don't know, maybe I should do, I just saw my friend Makeup Molly do like a short form video on Instagram talking about products that she like changed her mind on, and it was like, I pretty much had my mind made up on this one without even trying it. That's rude, but you know, I mean, which sounds, maybe it sounds kind of crazy, but it is what it is. But that was my reminder of like, oh, you don't really know how a product works and how you'll like it unless you actually give it a try. So I'm keeping the primer from Ofra, and that's very surprising to me. The other product that I was trying was the finishing powder in Lavender Haze, and it's so funny to me because I used this powder and I really liked it in my first impression, you know, my follow-up, my Get Ready With Me, all the things. I've been using it so much. I really do like this powder. The purple powder, it just kind of gives a little bit more of a brightening effect, so I like it for the under eyes. I think it makes them look brighter, and it's a nice powder. It doesn't feel too heavy, it doesn't feel too cakey. But for me right now, the powder that I just keep reaching for is my Laura Mercier translucent powder. And it's funny because I flip-flop back and forth with makeup all of the time. Again, like right now that I was saying, like I'm more into powder bronzers, but all of a sudden here come creams. Like I'm getting interested in those. And then for a while I was only into pressed powders, the Dior powder no powder, the Lawless Beauty, the Huda. That is all that I was wearing for powders. And then all of a sudden I flipped again and I was like, actually I only like my loose setting powders. And right now I'm more on my loose setting powder game. I like this one. I do like it though pretty much just for the under eyes. So I find myself not gravitating towards it as much because I'm like, I'm gonna use the Laura Mercier on my under eyes, I'm gonna use it on the rest of my face, I'm gonna use it when I'm covering acne and all of those sort of things. So this one, I've been grabbing for it in order to be able to review it. I think that it's a nice product. I think it's really brightening for the under eyes. If that's something that you're going for, I think this could make a good powder for you. But because I'm more into my loose powders right now, and I want one powder to be able to do everything on my face, and I don't necessarily love the lavender for my whole face, especially because I do deal with breakouts and like other imperfections. Sometimes if things are like too glowy or too highlighted or too brightening, I feel like it's kind of calling attention to them. So these two products from Ofra completely flipped for me from how I thought they were first going to be in my first impressions. I thought for sure no way on the primer, and I was like, I think I'm really gonna like this powder. Again, like both of the products, but I am going to declutter the powder and keep the primer. Did not see that coming. Next up I have an eyeshadow palette, and this is from Nomad Cosmetics. This is the Ireland Wild Atlantic Way. All right, so this is a pretty large eyeshadow palette. It definitely has a green theme to it. Also, of course, the Ireland theme. Now, I will say, Nomad Cosmetics has a beautiful formula, beautiful eyeshadow formula. I do have a discount code with them, which is Samantha. If you're interested in any of their products, their eyeshadow palettes, I know get a lot of good feedback, a lot of good reviews, because they're just really quality shadows. The mattes are so easy to use. They're so easy to blend. The shimmers are just, I mean, I barely have to touch my finger in these, and it's just like pa-pow, pa-pow, pa-pow on my eyes. So it's beautiful. Now, I'll say for this palette, I don't think that I necessarily need something this large. I typically more am into smaller palettes, quads. Even right now, again, single shadows, single shadows. This one's from Oden's Eye as well, in Lily. I actually just posted a short form with this one. I've been wearing those a lot. I've been going into just one shadow looks. I've been going into like my Peach Pie Quad from Sigma Beauty quite a bit. So with a larger palette, I'm like, it's not really my preference at this particular moment, but I really like this formula from Nomad. I don't have a lot of Nomad Cosmetics eyeshadow palettes, and I will also say the Ireland part really calls out to me. I'm half Irish. I did my first group travel trip to Ireland this January. I celebrated New Year's with my Sam Squad community in Ireland, and it's opened up a lot of opportunities for me to be able to travel more and travel with so many of you. I'm getting ready to go to Austin next month and do a retreat weekend with my friend Angelica Nikfis. I hosted one in Las Vegas. I'm going to Greece. I'm going to Italy. Next week I go to Barbados on not my group trip, but another group trip for one of my friends. I'm going to Iceland soon. So it's just opened up so many things, and I have so many good memories from Ireland, and I love that this palette, like when I look at this palette, that's what it reminds me of. And like some of the names of the shadows is, you know, some of the places that we saw, like the Blarney Stone and the Cliffs of Moher. So to me, I am going to keep this palette, and I do want to say that I feel like part of it is kind of like that sentimental value to it as well. I just like don't want to give this up, and it brings me so many good memories. But the actual formula is also absolute fire. It's so easy to work with. I think indie makeup brands just really kill it with their eyeshadow formula, and Nomad Cosmetics is no exception. Again, I think maybe if this wasn't an Ireland palette, I also love green shadows, okay? Don't get me wrong, I love green shadows. I think if this was like blue tones and like, I don't know, like an ocean vibe or something like that, I would be like, no, I can declutter it. But I do love green, I do love this formula, and I do love Ireland and all of the memories, so I'm gonna be keeping that one from Nomad Cosmetics. All right, and then lastly, I just have some lip products to review, and that was from Hard Candy. They came out with some products in their Girl Scout collection. So I have been trying their Velvety Smooth lip marker, and then also their lip oils. So I've tried a few different shades in each. This one here is Truffles. I think I've tried like Thin Mints as well. I don't really love these lip markers. They just feel too slippery on my lips. I've used them as liner, I've used them to fill in my lips, and it's just like, it's too slippery. It's almost like too velvety. I mean, it glides on very smoothly. It's pretty opaque as well on the lips, but to me it kind of wears off pretty quickly, and I just don't love the way that it looks. And like when I use it as lip liner, I feel like it kind of can get all over my face really quickly, and I kind of knew from the get when I put them on in the first impression, I was like, I don't think that this is going to be a favorite of mine, so I'm not going to be keeping these from Hard Candy. And then with the lip oils, I think that these are fine. You know, some of them have like a different scent to them. Like, I don't have the best sense of smell, but I know the Thin Mints one, which is like green, I know that one can like, you know, definitely smell like Thin Mints. I do love a good lip oil. These are pretty clear lip oils. All of them really do run like pretty clear. I really like something, you know, like I have like the Sigma Beauty tint lip oil right in front of me. That's a favorite of mine. There's other lip oils that I just prefer a little bit more. There wasn't really anything about this formula from Hard Candy that was like a standout to me that I was like, oh, you should definitely try this one. Hard Candy does have a more affordable price point. You know, if you're maybe got good Girl Scout memories, maybe you were a Girl Scout back in the day and like met some of your best friends that you're still best friends with, or you just really like the cookies. Like, I don't, listen, hey, I don't judge. Like, I can eat an entire box of Thin Mints in one day, okay? Cute. Cute. So maybe for that reason you want to pick one up. Like, I don't think it's a bad lip oil by any means, but to me it just doesn't have like any sort of qualities that I'm like, oh, this is a really good lip oil. Like, it makes my lips so moisturized or so hydrated or makes them look so juicy. Like, it's just like, oh, okay, it's like a clear lip oil, which is great. If that's what you're looking for, you can find an affordable one from Hard Candy. But for me, I'm also going to declutter those lip products from Hard Candy. So after that, those are my reviews. I will have my next, what is next? I think it's actually just a like get ready with me using the products from creators and friends, which actually I have a lot on my face today, but that is what my next one will be. And then we'll just keep going with the hauls, the first impressions, the get ready with me, the reviews. If that you like this style of video, as always, if you have any suggestions for what you want to see on my channel, please do let me know. I'll see you in the next one.